Oh, right, there's going to be a delay, isn't there? Okay, who have we got here? What's going on, people? Okay, let me know in the chat. If you're here, let me know in the chat. So I know you're here and I know who's here. Even if it's just one person, we might just end up having like a one-on-one production session. Just let me know. Okay, says 2 concurrent viewers. So just let me know in the chat who is here. Just so I'll be able to refer to you just according to your name. It'll be nice. Also, let me know if there's any issues with any of the audio. Can you hear this okay? Is everything coming through? Let me see. Now, one thing I am hearing, it's a buzzing sound. Is that from my... Yes, it is. Okay. So if you're here and you're in the chat, I'm assuming you might not be a subscriber, because only subscribers who have been subscribers for longer than 20 minutes are able to comment. So that might be the case, but let me just go ahead and see if I can change that setting so that even if it's some new people, you'll be able to comment as well. Oh, hola, what's going on, bro? It looks like it might just be me and you today talking. So if you've got any questions or anything whilst everything's happening, just go ahead and let me know, bro. And I'll just be sure to explain anything within my process that you may find interesting. Just ask away and I'll make sure to break it down for you. But for those who have joined, I'm literally going to be just making a beat from scratch today, showing my process of how I start, how I finish, at what point I start mixing, my different sound design techniques. But this isn't like a pre-planned thing, so whatever creative idea comes today is literally what happens. It looks like we've got quite a lot of shy people, so not a lot of people wanting to comment but wanting to just watch. Some spies on the wall, but it's fine. We'll just get creative nonetheless. Okay, let me bring this over here. Actually, just in case you want to see what this is, I'll make sure to put these plugins up so you can see them, because some of these are my favorites. Is all of your compression... So, one sec, Collar. Let me just get your question up. So you said, is all of your compression coming from just plugins? I was listening to your Seb's tunes just now, and it has a hardware sound and texture. So, what's the best way to show you this? So, in terms of like my sound, yeah, it is coming from the plugins. However, I find personally that the biggest impact on the quality of something is actually how good the vocal sounds. And for the vocal, let me see if I can switch to my GoPro. I can just show you quickly. So for my vocal chain, come out. This thing's magnetized. It does not want to leave. So for my vocal chain, I'm actually using this BAE 1073 going into this Empressor 500, which then goes into an API 550A sometimes. And And I also have these set up on an insert. So whilst I'm mixing particular sounds, I'll run them out through these EQs just so that I can get a certain tone and a certain quality out of it. So it's kind of like a hybrid flow. I used to have a master bus chain with tons of stuff. So when I switched over to, in the box, I just basically found plugins that would emulate that level of hardware quality. I literally spent like 4 months like trying every single thing. And funny enough, it was actually the pulsar modular stuff that ended up being the stuff that sounded the best, which is why when they reached out and wanted to collab, I was more than happy to work with them as a company, because whatever analog sound you feel like you're getting, it's a combination of my vocal chain and literally those plugins which I have on my mix bus. They never change. Literally, you can see, I'll show you right now. Down here, I'll make it bigger as well for you. It's literally the P42 climax going into the P11 abyss. Let me bring this down. Going into the P44 magnum, which you guys all know is an absolute favorite of mine. And I have nothing else. I don't even have a Pro L2, nothing like that. Sometimes I'll add a Pro L2 if it's needed, but I often find that I'm getting like more than enough volume just by having the P44 Magnum at the end of the clipping stage. Yeah, but that's pretty much my vibe. What'd you say? I'm talking about food for thought. Yeah. Food for thought. I have a workflow. So all of my songs, like, it's not like I'm just changing my setup per song. Like, everything you've heard since I've been doing YouTube, and that song was definitely one I put out whilst I was doing YouTube. All of that stuff is this same mic pre going into that same chain, and then everything is mixed in the box. On that particular song, I didn't even send anything out to the API EQs. That particular song is literally just all mixed in the box, and it's those pulsar modular plugins. Honestly, I don't want this video to be another promo thing. I don't want you guys to think that I'm always just trying to sell or I've got some bad deal behind the scenes. Like, anything that I did on that song is available on my YouTube channel. So some key videos I would tell you to go and watch. If you might have seen them before, you might have skipped through them, but honestly, I really recommend you just watch everything, because sometimes at the end I might remember some piece of information and I just share it. But Ultimate Drum Bus is one that definitely should be watched. The definitive mix bus tutorial is definitely one that I would say to watch in terms of how I'm getting that feeling of an analog sound within the box. And then if you also go back to one of my original videos I did, like the P44 Magnum one, where I think it's called How to Get Insane Bass. That one is a really good video. And all of those videos, how to achieve a huge drum sound, all of those kind of videos are showcasing my process. So the way I have it set up, whilst I'm here, I might as well show you. Let me get this up here. So the way I actually have my template set up is I have some favorite sounds, but I also already have these groups here with nothing in them, just audio tracks. But every single video I've explained about how I use a vocal bus, how I use a music bus, a bass bus, kick bus, why I separate those two and why I don't have the kick in the drum bus, and then why I have a drum bus as well. Everything is in my template, even when I load up to start making beats. And the reason why I find this really helpful is because by the time I come to mix a song, traditionally, it would always be this thing where I have to kind of build up like momentum to start mixing. I would rather the mix just be falling into place as I'm writing, as I'm producing. And that's why I have this template. So as you'll see today, I'll showcase everything. You're going to see by the time I'm like done, this is probably going to sound like a finished production because of the way my template's set up. And of course, those pulsar modular plugins are on from the beginning of the song. So as I'm producing, as I'm playing, everything is going through that. So in fact, let me just I'll just put down some drums quickly. I'll put down some chords quickly. Also, I noticed very good panning and mixing. You had production elements pan wide, but it's dynamic. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. Honestly, that's just because of this template. I love to work through it and create through it. Like even now, I'm just gonna mess around and just throw something down really quick without thinking. I'll just do some chords, I'll do some drums, I'll do some bass, and then I'm gonna drag them up into my template, and you're gonna see instantly why this thing is so powerful. But let's just jump straight into this anyway. No, I don't like that tempo. Let me go 80. That's a nice one. Okay. Okay. Now that last snare, I hit that a bit hard. We'll drop that down. Then I want to consolidate this as a new file. Set it to loop. And I'll just let that drag out. And then that way, whilst I'm editing this, it will just affect everything else in the loop as well. So let me quantize. Now I know I mentioned this before, but I don't actually quantize my drums, but I'll manually move them if I feel like I need to, just to affect the groove. So right here, I feel like maybe this is just a little bit late. And maybe just here as well. Okay, sick. And then I'll just get some hi-hats. I'll do these separate, just so I have a bit more control. And eventually I'll split that kick and that snare out separate as well. I don't like that hi-hat at all. Let me load this up. By the way, these are the sulfide drums by Teletone Audio. I haven't done a video on it because I feel like a lot of people know about this already, but these drums by far are my favorite drums. They just sound so great. Let's see if we can get that hi-hat. In fact, let me drop that pattern down into that other kick drum. I think I want the kick from the other one, and I think I want the snare from this new one. So, other way around. Yeah. Okay, let's find a hi-hat. That's literally what I was meant to be doing in the first place. Let's have a look. I'm also going to mute my synth because for whatever reason I've got some feedback happening and it's buzzing. Just trying to find that pocket. I feel like I found it towards the end there. Let me see. This is a bit early for me. Still early. Late. So let me go here. Now for some people, I think someone commented before saying, the drums feel a bit out of time. Honestly, it's just my style or my personality or feeling. I find as soon as you start like quantizing drums, it's just like the vibe of it just goes for me. If I do get a little bit delayed with the chat as well, there's like a delay between what I'm doing and what this is doing. This is my first time live streaming ever in my life, so I'm adjusted to all of this, but I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. That little kick, there's one kick that's a little late. For whatever reason, that feels late. Even though it's technically on the beat, it just feels like that's coming in late. this. There's a snare somewhere. Yeah. Right there, the whole thing just gets a bit too lazy. A little less velocity. OBS delays, it's better to stream from a separate laptop or computer. Yeah, we definitely ain't got separate laptop and computer budget yet. But if this thing starts growing, then I'll start making double laptop investments. But for now, we're going to have to just figure it out, bro. I'm hearing a Rhodes piano with these drums. Do you know what? I don't really use Rhodes a lot, but I'll go ahead and mess around with one, actually. Now that I've got that groove in, I feel like I'm a bit slow. So I'll probably go 84. No. 82. That feels good. This is going to end up being a Teletone video, isn't it? Because the moment you said Rhodes, the first thing I'm going to is literally their version of Rhodes. I've got a question for you guys, actually. Do you prefer this view or the other view with native instruments? Because I keep going back and forth. But sometimes with this view, I just feel like I don't know what's going on all of the time. I don't find it easy to find things. It's a bit mad. Yeah, babe.
Hiya.
You good? You can say hello if you want, you know. Ooh. That sounds so wonky. That might be dope. These two are my guys. This guy here, Ash, and this guy, Holla. They literally comment on every single video that I've ever done. So these are like my boys.
Hi, Ash. Hi,
Yeah.
hi.
And then we've got some ghosts. It says 11 people, but only 2 people are talking. I don't know who the ghosts are.
Oh,
I hope they're not
weird.
bots. I hope they're not bots. Some people might be shy there,
How
innit?
can you find that out?
No, I actually can't, you know. But that's good. It's like data protection or privacy, right? But honestly, you couldn't be more nervous than I am right now. So please say hello if you're there. They said, nah, the classic view. Peace. Yeah, King. The first view's best. Your wife has a beautiful voice for sure. Yes, she's on Round and Round, the other song with Sebs. This is the wonderful singer.
Oh, yeah.
Classic view is cool. The other view is chaotic for me. Yeah, I think the same. I feel the same as well.
Do you want a cup of tea?
Yes, please. That would be nice. Thanks, Seb. Rah, why is that so loud? Ugh. Yeah, let me change this view. I need to get a stream deck as well, because having to click the buttons to change the view every time is definitely not going to be sustainable. Okay, let me bring my phone over for the chat. I want with that thing, because it's like it's fluctuating probably a bit too much. One thing about the new Contact that is sick though is this, where you can like go through the presets. This is so dope. on earth is that? And how's that going to work? That could be good, like... Do you know what I mean? If I just do a sustain on the chord, I didn't know that thing was going to be an arpeggiator, but like I said, we don't know what's going on today. No, we're in. We're so in. That is rude. What the flip, bruv? I've never used that thing in my life. Shout out to... Was it Hollow Out Ash? Someone said Rhodes, bruv. If you didn't say that, I would have never found this thing. But you see whatever this is, yeah? This thing is crazy. Hold on. I know it's already an RC20 situation straight away. What the flip is that, bruv? Oh my goodness. What key we've... I don't know if that's coming through on your end, but I've got the subwoofer over here, right? And that thing is rumbling, bruv. But for the sake of mobile phones, let's add some harmonics to this thing. Oh my days. My flipping house. My poor flat. Ugh. Ugh. What the hell is that? 2, 3, 4. Hold on, let me take off. That's going to be really jarring. That needs to follow so it doesn't play like that. There you go. I don't want that noise to start irritating you. Like, that would be bare jarring. What have we said? Oh, sorry, there's so many flipping comments. What did we say? Let me keep up with you guys. Actually, before I keep up, let me put down this thing before I forget. 2, 3, 4. Unsolo. There we go. 3, 4. Because I don't want to lose like just the raw essence of whatever this is gonna be. I already know for a fact that that thing needs to have a turnaround. In fact, I'm gonna mute the drums for now because I need to just lock in on. Because if it's like, sorry if I'm moving fast, but the inspiration's coming. I need to like have a walk down as well. So if it's like, wait, hold on a second. I think I need to just put that in, you know, just on some weird like James Bond kind of thing with like a mad like space echo or like some crazy delay or something on that. What even is that chord? And when it comes to space echoes, I was checking out. I typed in space echo. The thing's so sick with Ableton, yeah? Let me zoom in. Is when you type things in, you might be typing it in. What?
Space echo?
Yeah, it's called space echo,
Doesn't even logically make sense.
No, it is, bruv.
There would never be an echo in space.
No, there's definitely no sound in space. Yeah, but that's... Get out there with all of that realism, bruv. Anyway, getting back to my point, bruv. It's space delay, sorry. I usually use the UAD version of this, but this T-Rex one is actually very, very good. Sorry, let me take that metronome off. I love a metronome, but I know that that tambourine will drive everyone else because I have selective hearing. But then I want that to sound like I ripped that off a vinyl or something and brought that in. So I'm going to go ahead and do something like pitch monster to fake that up 12 semitones. And then maybe I put it before the delay. See if I can do some pitch bed or something. Blend. And then let me set the time. I always get lost on how to set the time on this thing. just feels like it wants to delay how it's going to delay. There we go. Okay, so left is slower. Okay. I feel like I need some kind of spooky, sustained string to like fill in that emptiness of that gap. So I'm going to go ahead and get something from, let me not click review, that would be bad. There's tons of exciting plugins coming out that I definitely can't show. Sorry, chat. With them drums, Ash, I think Alex is the best producer ever. That is jokes. Alex definitely needs to be in the studio with someone like Dem Joints and Dreddy. That'll be a vibe. I'm actually going to try and make the Dreddy one happen. We got some people coming in. Welcome to all. Geez, ooh, hard. As the songwriter Sean says, dirty, yeah. Bro, that is jokes. Was watching on my TV. As soon as the 808 came in, I ran for my headphones. Bro, you and me both, bro. As soon as that 808 came in, I was like, nah, what is this? Now, this is funny, yeah, because you see right now, I'm not playing the drums. Now, I'm actually doing that on purpose. I like to treat myself. So for me, I like to make like this now as like a musical thing. Like imagining if I was making a sample, right? So that, and then I'll bring those drums in later and it will be like a reveal. But I get to experience that reveal at the same time. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'll probably just sound like a bit of a weirdo, but it's just something I always do. As soon as I know the drums are sick, I will always just be like, okay, let me mute them and figure out the musicality. And then when I bring the drums back in, I just know it's going to be something really fun. But I just want something sustained. The reason I'm using this is because if I play it longer, it like does all of this texture stuff. Thanks, babe. Do you know what? Actually, could you put it there for me? Yeah. 'Cause I think I want something that sounds like it's a tremolo. Like that. That sounds like a whole film. Just in one note. Maybe I'll do octaves. Well, I want to get like the minor. Would I go up? Maybe, let me just put it in, I'll figure it out afterwards. John, let me also drag these drums back so I can have a drum count in rather than that metronome. That's so funny. I gave myself a drum count in. I muted the drums. I think I need a higher octave, right? Maybe the second half. Maybe I'll bring it.
Cut through.
But just something, do you know what I mean? That thing is an accident. That's an absolute fluke.
That's an accident.
I just threw my hand down on the piano. I just went, let me figure out what I could do. And I played something to figure out what sound I wanted to use. It just ended up being just some mad cluster chord.
No, I love
to throw
that.
it down straight away. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bounce this thing to audio though, because you see these long sustain notes? It's so irritating when you're playing something partway through and it just literally doesn't want to play because it's not at the start. And as you saw, I just committed that. I'm not bothered. I know this is what it is. I don't really need to go back to that sound again because I already know what that sound is. If I want it, I'll just like load it up. But generally you'll find that I'm very quick to commit stuff to audio on this. Now, I feel like I've got a basis. I just need to figure out a melody now. Something on top. I might need to bring in the drums, you know. This is why I didn't want to hold a chord, because my brain is going quicker than my hands. And then I want to go, what chord did I do? And then, bro, quick, Alex, before you lose it. That might be weird. Hold on a second. What is going on here? Let's figure this one out. So. No, it's not there. Just put that back to normal. Maybe. Nope. Might even just. No. No, there's something. I like that, so. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to run with that for now. Let me get rid of that resonant frequency, because if that's killing me, I can't imagine what that sounds like over the stream. In fact, did I just load up ProQ? This is ProQ4. Okay, so let's do this new thing, which I always forget about. Okay, so let me now mute. Now I really want that second note to stand out, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit a bass to hit with it, so it just like maybe like one of their, what's this, insane, nasty, mean, rude. Okay, second chord, C sharp, E, A, B. Man's exposing my chords. Enoch, get out of here, bruv. Wait, Enoch, I just realized you wasn't exposing chords. Would you suggested a chord? Was you saying that to do a C sharp, E, flat, E, A flat? Okay, let me see. Just saying an E sharp, no, a C sharp, yeah, an E flat, an E, and an A flat. You sure about the E though? Hold on, the E might be a bit mad. That is a bit crazy, but I think I want it there. That's it. So I'm here streaming on my laptop, then I got Premier League on the TV. Bro, that's some horror movie football you're watching right there, bro. On the top as well. Leave that there. one, doesn't it? Maybe it's more that. It's for the second time. And then maybe I could go boom, boom with it, probably. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see what happens. That could be it. What do you think if I go like and then come back again? Let me see. I'll watch it. I'll watch the delay. Sounds like a Power Force soundtrack. I actually don't know Power Force. You're gonna have to let me know who Power Force is. I actually am not familiar with them at all. Definitely need something on that second, because that sounds dry like toast, bruv. It's so empty. Hold on a second. But not something too like obvious though. I think the scary thing about streaming is like a key part of my music creation process is like going away for half an hour and coming back and listening with fresh ears, because I have no idea if this actually sounds good. Right now, I feel like it sounds good. But I actually won't know until I leave this whole thing and come back. I don't like that. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe just maybe. Because I'm not respecting the movement here, so I need to go and then I need to cut this. Whoever's watching football right now, honestly, this is a horror film of football that you are watching. I am so lost. So, why is this not playing? Maybe, let me see. So, this is throwing me. I don't know why when I'm looking at this like this. It is that, right? I think so. I'm going to do something to this sound at some point, because it's sounding... It's got the vibe, but it sounds a bit weedy. go wrong with piano on top of bass, bro? An 808 and a piano hit at the same time, I feel like every single time it's just an absolute problem. And I mean that in the best of ways. 2, 3, 4. Sustaining, like I think my synth. What have we got? Let's read the comments again. Sorry, I've been neglecting. The good thing is you're all talking to each other. Sorry that he was wrong, but you had it. Are we hearing a direct stream, or is the sound coming through a mic in the room? Sound's coming through the mic in the room. That is just one of those things that's just my vibe. I don't know about you. I'm guessing you guys are different. I cannot make beats in headphones. Like, I'm telling you, look, let's just put it this way, yeah? I did not get this subwoofer to not have it playing whilst I'm making beats. Absolutely not. So what I will do though to compromise is when I start getting into a stream, like a balance over streaming, like mixing and stuff like that, then I will flip it to turning my microphone off, which I'll do now, and then I'll turn the audio from the DAW. So let me figure out the settings. So I'll just make it so the screen capture, you'll be able to hear the application of Ableton Live when I play the beat. Here we go. Okay. So, in fact, let me just go over to here. Let me add that in for you very quickly. But yeah, as I said, whilst I'm creating, whilst I'm just vibing, I'll have it like this because I just need to feel frequencies. For me, personally, I can't hear frequencies. That's not enough for me. I need to like feel, like if I'm playing bass, then I need to know, is this 808 actually resonating in my body right now? I don't want to be like, I feel like I can hear it feels good. Because sometimes in a headphone, you might just be hearing the harmonics of that bass. But if you're not feeling the actual vibration of speakers, even if you don't have a subwoofer, for me, I just can't tell, like, does that actually sound any good or not? But I think I've got the audio set up now. Let me see. Hold on. So that was the sound of the Ableton. So when I get down to the mixing and stuff like that, I'll absolutely lock in and play that for you in that way. But right now, I want to move over to my Udo Super 6 synth, which unfortunately I don't have a close-up of that synth in terms of visually, but I'm going to try and just find a sound for that on there. That's beautiful. I love it. When you first load up this synth. So what am I doing? Where's my studio shot? There you go. When you first load up this synth, it's hilarious how it just goes to the init patch, but we'll try and just mash something up very, very quickly. Bloody hell. That's insane. Cool. Let me loop this. absolutely everything apart from bass, and that's synth. And I already know I need a Kickstarter on that, so I'm going to go ahead and just add that from now. No, not the old one. The old one doesn't even work anymore, does it? Oh, it does. Okay. Anyway, we don't want that. I just want to hear... And then I just want to get this like just leveled against this and color code these so I can mute them together. All of my music stuff I have yellow, any of my bass stuff I have pink, and any of my kick drums will always be like a dark purple. And that's just so that when I drag this up into my template above, which is the whole reason why I started doing this, it will just be level. Set that sustain off on the snare. I'll record that in, and then I think I want some kind of string on top. But also, I did this right. Hollow, you asked me something in the beginning before we got carried away. You said about my template. So after I've recorded this audio in, I'll go ahead and drag this up into the template sections, and you'll be able to hear just how quickly a mix comes together. Okay, great. Now I've got that in, then I'll show you what I mean about my template, and then I'll spare you guys the whole back and forth. I'll probably, realistically, now that I've got this in this kind of place, this is where I would go and play PlayStation. And I'm not a streaming gaming channel, but honestly, I would leave this as it is. If I wasn't live streaming, I would go ahead and save this, which I'm going to do now quickly. And I would just basically... Ooh, what's going on there? I would basically just save this, and this Alex Elliott folder is going to be so insane. For some reason, it's not letting me save it. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, cool. So, you guys are pre-in all of the projects. I'm just going to go ahead and make a new folder called Livestream, because I have too many tracks in here. Okay. For whatever reason, with the application thing that's sharing at the moment, it's not actually letting me save. It's not letting me click on anything. Who knows? That's interesting. That's something I need to figure out. That's pretty scary though. If it means whenever I'm live streaming, I won't be able to click save. Hey man, is what it is. But let me drag this up into my template now. So I'll first play it how it is. And I'm going to go ahead and mute myself for a second now and just have the audio, DAW audio. on about pulsar modular plugins. Before and after, listen. Yeah, and then honestly, for me now, I could just move on really to just another tune. Where's all of that noise coming from though? What is that? I had to figure that out. I have a feeling it might be the space echo thing that's doing that. Let me just check quickly, because that's going to irritate me. It is. So this thing must have tape noise. Here we go. Yeah, goodness me, that was horrific. But yeah, that's pretty much how quick I can get things down. Honestly, I'll click this, I'll save this, I'd move on, and I'll start making something else. But the real power in this template is when you're in the session and you need to make a beat idea. As I'm making this, you know, someone's sitting behind me on the sofa, usually writing, getting vibes, getting loads of, you know, songwriting ideas together or lyrics. And then they might say, yo, I've got 16. And then I just quickly grab this, loop it out, and then they can put down a 16. And then once they've got their 16 and we could get a chorus, get another 16 or 32, whatever. Then once the song's mapped out over this kind of loop, that's when I start to go into the details of beat dropouts or how to structure the beat. I tend to not do that before the artist puts their stamp on top of it, because I think for me personally, when it comes to producing, it's about producing sonically around. For example, like I could take this beat, for example, it might want to just be like just this little synth sound by itself. Why is nothing playing? Because I'm in the wrong section. It might want to be this. And if someone's rapping, then it might just want to be like just drums on top as well. Now that might sound like a little bit boring to someone who's just listening to music audibly, right? But you have to imagine, for someone who's writing bars, they have like so much space to be able to think of ideas, to be able to craft and write around that. And because I have so many elements within here, I now know, okay, if this is my chorus, I can just work backwards from that. And then all of a sudden structuring doesn't become a massive issue. So I'll just go ahead and mess with that now, actually. Let's say with the chorus, I want the chorus to be the most full frequency, full spectrum part of the beat. So everything comes in there. And the way I look at it is I'm filling in holes within the frequency spectrum as the beat is progressing. And I honestly learned that from EDM music, because EDM music does that incredibly well. They'll have the full entire frequency spectrum playing on the drop, and they'll do that with like a white noise or a crash or something at the top end, and then the kick and the bass hit at the low end, and just before everything comes in, the bass high pass, and then drops in. So then you get that feeling of it feeling full. Yeah, exactly, like breathing space, quick, flexible workflow. That's exactly it. So for me, when it comes to producing, I'll do everything layered, the big section, and then I'll just kind of unmute things. So I'm going to go ahead and try and give this a rough structure now, keeping in mind by the time I get to like a quote unquote chorus, I want it to feel like at its biggest form. But let's just check it out. I'm already feeling like when that first comes in for impact, just that one bass, none of that. Just keep it right there. And then it like that, but that's wrong. Like for me, I feel like the contrast of it just going straight to no chord, just literally how it began, but the only difference being that there's drums in now and no bass, just so you get that feeling of it dropping down. And then this is a massive pet peeve of mine, which is when you like sustain stuff and just the sustain rings over. Oh my gosh, it's such a killjoy, but it's just one of those things we literally just have to program. There's no way around it. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then honestly, for me, I would probably want this to feel like it was a hip hop sample of some kind. So what I love to use this plugin by Kilohertz called Gain. And the reason I use it is because it works on a percentage system rather than a dB system. And 0% is zero gain. So some plugins might do like minus 24 dB, but you can actually still hear that if you listen carefully. I want things to absolutely cut to silence. So I'll go ahead and put this on the end, just so it feels like a sample, like how a sample would just completely cut off quite abruptly. I want it to feel exactly like that. So I'll go ahead and do that on both of these as well. And then I'll go ahead and make this like this so I don't lose it as well. Let's have a listen again. Yeah. And then the bass can come in second half. With a piano, I think bass with that piano would have been nice. With just probably the one chord here. Now, I'm trying to explain it as quick as I can, but my brain's moving so fast. I feel like this sound is too full frequency for this particular section. So what I'm going to do is, because I know I want that one shot to hit every single time, I've duplicated it, and then I'm going to bounce this one down to audio so that I can like craft the EQ of this particular part and make it almost be like a throwback to what was on the chorus, but not quite. Almost like we took what was on that chorus section and just sampled it in a way. Maybe that, and then maybe something like a micro shifter just to make it feel a bit different on this particular section. Maybe that, a bit lo-fi. Do you know what I mean? So it's there, but it's not like, you know, that. So when we get back to the chorus, we won't feel like, you know, that endless trap of feeling like you need to add in more elements to make it feel bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Actually, sometimes by just making whatever's before smaller, it's the actual contrast that then makes the next section feel bigger. So yeah, hopefully that showcases for Holla just the template, just the power of the template, being able to just drag stuff in when I'm creating. I know for a fact I'd probably want to have strings over the top of this as well, and I just for the top end, like the air on the top, because if I mute the hi-hat, everything's like super mid-rangey. So for me, when I want to identify what's missing, I'll mute kick, bass, and I'll mute drums, and I'll just listen. And I can hear already that just doesn't have like the feeling to it. So I'm going to go back to what I was doing earlier. If you remember earlier, I added in this high string, but then I had to mute it because I was playing C minor, but I ended up adding in like a chord progression. But I'm going to go back to that now because I don't necessarily want to add anything in musically that's playing another melody. I definitely don't want to do that. The territory I'm in now is layering stuff. So I just want something that is just a high sustained string. And I think on top of that, I can see myself getting something like maybe a string line playing the do 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 do. I think that's nice. That sounds like super busy, but I'll just put it, just something to be on the top. I don't want it to be doing too much, but there's just a little texture. Do you know, it could be the sound of the street. It could be anything, but I'm just trying to find a way to have that frequency without making it feel like super busy. So I'm going to try and think what note will work if I just hold it sustained. Which note musically will work just the whole way through. Let me see. I want to say that, but I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's just... And it also adds like this feeling of tension, I feel. Well, there's like just some suspense going on. Pitch bend the strings into the bass drop. Sick. Yeah, definitely good to see. It definitely hit and miss for me from tune to tune because I don't always use templates. Yeah, honestly, it's whatever your workflow is. For me, I just know that my ideas, like my brain, it's this same issue where my brain is always moving quicker than my ability to put an idea down. So I've just implemented these different things to help speed up that process so that I can put ideas down as quickly as possible, because the main thing for me is just like inspiration. And the thing that kills my inspiration the quickest is when something doesn't feel right. And the reason it doesn't feel right is because it's not mixed. So if I'm listening to something and it feels like off mix wise, like I can't tell the difference between, is this just the wrong sound selection? Is this the wrong thing being played? Like it all just gets a bit blurry. Whereas when I hear everything back with a kind of pre-mix on it in a way, I feel like I can focus on the writing and less on like the technical aspect of it as well. Not just a beat maker. Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, bro. I'll take that as a compliment. This is cool though, man. It's so interesting. I've not actually checked on just any of this stuff to see. It says 22 concurrent viewers. I don't know what concurrent means. Does that mean that there's 22 people watching right now? I have no idea whatsoever. But I hope you're enjoying it. How is it so far? Is there anything you'd like to see more of? Because I'm happy to just keep on vibing. I'm probably going to be here till around about like 6ish, and then I'll jump off and grab something to eat. But is there anything you would like to know more of, or are you happy for me to just keep on going through my process and just explaining what I'm doing as I'm doing it and why I'm doing it? Let me know. I'll wait a little second for the delay. I'm basically asking this question to Ash and Holla because you guys are the only guys who talk. going back through some of your comments now as well. I've got Premier League, mainly. Sound like a power. I need to check out. Oh, Power Force. Is that the show with like Kanan and those guys? Is that what you're on about? I feel like I know what you're talking about now. Okay, let's see. Do your thing, bro. I'm a sound man, so I'm always learning. I feel your stream is going dope, brother. Honestly, very good stream considering it's your first official live. Continue with the process. I love what you're doing. Okay, yeah. I'll just keep doing my thing then, and I'll just keep talking through what I'm doing as I'm doing. But am I crazy? Do you guys hear the difference? But like, it's so subtle, but this sustained string when it's not in, check it out. It's so subtle, but sometimes I think, am I just a bit too OCD with this kind of stuff? But I feel like that's making a massive difference, even though it's just one thing. I feel like we could spend hours sometimes trying to find what that one thing is. Let me check the section without it and see how it feels. Let me change. I'll put it on so you can edit the DAW. Thank you so much. I was talking with so much passion. Thank you so much, babe. You heading out? Yeah? What time are you back? Not sure?
I don't want to be late though.
Okay. Oh, then. Love you.
Love you.
I'll see you later.
Bye everyone. Are you having fun? I'll see you later, babe.
This is like the polar opposite of me. It's like some typical South London guy, and then you just got my wife from Nottingham. Hi, everybody. Okay. What was I saying? I was reading your comments. The template would require you to own all of the Pulsar modular plugins and also tons of other plugins. Like, this isn't a template that's specifically only using Ableton things. However, I would be interested in seeing if I could make a version of this template using only Ableton stock plugins or particular things, but it would be hard to make it available to everyone on every single door. You would need to just own all of the plugins I'm using. However, if you do watch the videos on my channel, any video that's to do with like drum bus or mix bus, if you go to my channel and you go to playlists, there's mixing tutorials, I think, yeah, I think it's mixing tutorials. Just go through all of those because I explain the principles of all of the things I'm doing. So you can take those principles and you can apply it to other plugins that you want. Let me just see, what have I got? Audio gear. Here we go, mixing tips and tricks. There's a folder called mixing tips and tricks. I'm going to make sure that it is visible on my playlist. You can actually see it. Yeah, if you go on my homepage, okay, for whatever reason, that particular playlist wasn't showing. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that's available. But if you go on my homepage in a moment, there'll be a playlist that's going to be there called Mixing Tips and Tricks, and I'll drag it up as well so you can make sure to see it. I'll drag it next to my music. If you go through that playlist, I explain everything that I'm doing in my whole template, but it's broken up into several different videos. So yeah, it will require patience, but if you go through it, I guarantee by the end of it, you'll be able to get your own version of what this is. You'll be able to make it work for you. Did you answer your question about your keyboards and pedals you use? I haven't yet. So just to clarify, when you say my keyboards and my pedals, I'm using, you mean my synths. So this is just the Native Instruments 61 key. I actually did used to have a like digital piano with the fully weighted keys that I really loved that I was using before, but I wanted the space to be able to stack it. The second one is a Udo Super 6. I love it. It's just, I don't know how to describe it, but there's something about the workflow that's quite intuitive for me. It's pretty much knob per function. So if I move something, I'm going to hear what's going on. So I'll just spend like a few hours a day sometimes just going through making sounds and just building up banks of sounds. So when it's time to make a beat, I can just go through presets of sounds I've already made. And then above that is it's a Moog Grandmother. Now, it's so funny it's called the Moog Grandmother, because it literally has the role of grandmother in the studio, as in it's the first in line. It was literally the first plugin, the first synth, sorry, that I got. So I have to make sure not to pull this cable too much. But yeah, this is what's going on here. Moog Grandmother. It's not plugged in yet because I need to buy that Franklin audio thing, that, like, you know, the switcher where you could switch inputs. I need to buy that because I don't want to have to buy two Big Skies. And then the only pedal I have here is the Reverb Big Sky. But then I also have this, which I'm not using at the moment, but it's my Analog Heat Plus Effects. This thing is pretty insane. But once I get that Franklin audio thing, I'll be able to have multiple inputs. So I'll be able to use this on my synths as well as on my like DAW. At the moment, I prioritize using it on my DAW, on drums and stuff, because it just gives like a really, really dope tone. In fact, let me show you what this thing does, and what I tend to use it for, because at the moment, it's not being used. I haven't done any videos on it because I want to, you know what it is with YouTube, yeah? Sometimes there's this temptation to want to do videos on stuff, but the reality is when I first started my channel, I was doing all of my videos on things that I'd been using for like years. I wasn't caught up in this whole thing of like, I need to like keep up with the latest plugin release and be the first one to make like a video on this plugin. Like, I kind of just taken a step back from doing all of that, because I feel like for me, I need to have had something for at least a month to know what I'm doing with that, like why I love it, what I want to use it for, what kind of niche nuance, like I love to use this on background vocals, or I like to use this on lead synths or pianos or this kind of thing. So with this, I've just been living with it for a while, and then once I know what's going on with it and what I love to use it on, then, you know, I'll change it. One thing I do know straight away though is that on bass, it's insane. So if I go ahead and whack it on these 808s, for example, I'm hoping my ins and outs are all set up. Yep, they are. Okay. So why am I, let me go ahead and change this 1 second. Because for whatever reason, getting the left side more than the right. Okay, let's whack this up. Switch this over to the DAW for a second. I will figure out how to get the DAW and my mic playing at the same time, but I just need to, I want to get like a foot pedal or something where I can hit the foot pedal to talk or something like that. My bad. I'm still figuring this thing out. There was no sound. Let's go through that one more time. Okay. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not entirely sure why the sound had actually disappeared from that. I think it's because it is because of that. Okay. That's really annoying. It's not annoying, but basically, because I'd created that input during the live stream, I didn't create it on all of my scenes. So at the moment, the Ableton Live is only when I'm on this particular page. So just bear with me a second and I will go ahead and get it set up on this one so that you guys can all hear what I'm doing with this particular thing. Thanks for your patience as well. As I said, this is my first stream live. So as much as I can try and prepare in advance, there's just a ton of technical things I'm going to run into in real time. So thanks for your patience in me figuring this stuff out. So I just wanted to check, can you hear that? I'm going to wait for the delay to go by, but let me know if you could hear that, okay? If you can, then I'll go back to doing the sound examples as well. I just needed to check the levels because even though I'm minus 1 dB within Ableton, for whatever reason, when I'm looking at the meter on this thing, it's looking like it's crazy distorted, but I'm guessing it isn't audibly. It's just going into the red because I think the red section starts at minus 5 dB. Seems like it. Okay, I'll go through it again. I mean, I wasn't trying to level match or like, I level match the meters, but that isn't like a reference of how I would necessarily use it in this particular beat. But I just wanted to showcase just an example of just how crazy that thing is. Yup, heard the music that time. Sick. Benjamin AD would body this beat. I actually know Benjamin AD. So funny enough, I'll actually probably send it to him. I didn't even think of that actually. You're actually right. Actually, that would be sick. If I actually get to send that to him and he actually likes it, I'll see if he's down for coming down and doing the live stream thing. As I said, right now, I'm just like being creative. I'm just making stuff. But I think what this will end up growing into is, if I'm in a session with someone and they're happy for me to live stream, I will live stream it. The only thing is maybe it could be difficult to always like plan so far in ahead with that kind of content. It will probably be like day before or on the day, just be like, Alex Elliott's going live in an hour. But either way, I'm sure there'll be some of you that will join as well. But let me think about this thing. I showed you that. Did you have any other questions? I think I've got like around 30 minutes that I'll probably still be on air, maybe 30, 20. But I want to use that time to just answer some questions and just get to know you guys and just what you want to know. Even if there's things that you want to see more on the channel, now's really your opportunity to just ask all of those things. I've got no time to play games with you. It's time to change your point of view. Watch where you was coming from, not to where you was going to. I keep pushing through. These are bars, bruv. I was reading this thinking, wait, hold on a second. This is mad. Hey, these are bars, bro. This is sick. We need to figure out a way where people can like come on the live stream. I don't know how we're going to figure out latency. Where people could phone in, and if I play a beat, someone could just like rap over stream. I don't know how we're going to figure out latency. The more I'm talking about it, I'm like, this sounds like a nightmare. But if we could find a way, I'll be down to do something like that. That would be sick. But yeah, any questions or anything you want to know more of, or anything you want to see, or even if you've joined later and you didn't get to see my process of making this beat from scratch, even if you have any questions about the particular beat, what sounds I'm using, how I'm getting a certain sound, let me know. Off topic, your how to make Ableton synth sound amazing really inspired me. Thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciated it. It's always interesting. You can make a video on something and think, oh, maybe no one wants to see that video. I won't do any more of them. But the reality is it's just that pesky algorithm deciding who it's going to send stuff to. I was talking to someone the other day and they said they wanted to see more videos, see a video on how I do my strings. And I was like, what? I've literally got a video that's got 10,000 views on how I do my strings. Did you not get notified? He's like, no, I have notifications turned on, everything. I just didn't see it. So with YouTube, it's just a bit hit and miss. I'll upload loads of videos, but sometimes people just don't see them and sometimes people do. So I'm glad you appreciated that one. The hidden channel said, enjoying the vibe. Nice. Jones. Oh, nice to see you in there, Jones. Kept going and coming in. Missed a lot, but will definitely watch it back. That's the great thing. I'll make this available so you'll be able to watch it back as well. How long did it take you to transition from Logic to Ableton? If I'm being completely honest with you, it took me about probably like 4 days. Like really, it was not hard. Ableton is so intuitive. The thing about switching DAWs, now to give context, I've switched DAWs several times. So I started off on Fruity Loops, then I went to Reason, then I went to Cubase, then I went to Logic, then I went to Studio One, then I went back to Logic when Studio One introduced that subscription stuff. Then I went from Logic to Ableton. And the thing I learned through all of those processes is the only thing that makes it hard to switch DAW is shortcuts. So the main thing you have to try to do, Studio One was incredible to switch to because when you switch, they ask you what DAW you're coming from. I said Logic, and they changed all of the shortcuts to be the default Logic shortcuts, which made it super easy to transition. But with Ableton, I just had to get my head around like shift, tab to bring up the mixer. O is like metronome on and off, and then number 0 is like mute region. Once I understood those, like Command L, loop region, once I understood those basic things, everything else was so easy. Because the reality is I'll show Ableton here. If I just go like Command F, I type in kick because I'm trying to get kickstart. You can't see it properly here, but if I zoom in, you can see like as I'm typing things in, it's just finding them. So let's say I'm on this track here and I want kickstart. I just type kick down twice, click enter, and it's just there. So no matter how complicated some aspects may be, that alone, like Command F, Pro Q, down twice, enter. Like that alone, like just, okay, P44, enter. that alone for me is enough to overcome any difficulty I may face with this DAW. Because honestly, I tried to go back. Like, let me put this back. I tried to go back to other DAWs, and honestly, every DAW is great. But I think if you watch this live stream from the beginning, then probably one of the things you're taking away from this is that I move so fast, and to the point where like my brain is thinking quicker. So for me, any DAW that enables me to shorten that gap between thought to action is one I'm going to go with. So with Ableton, I don't know, it just feels like an extension of my arm. Like I'm able to just be so free and so creative. There's some things that are a bit annoying. Like I love to do Melodyne stuff, and Studio One was great for that because of the ARA integration. Whereas with this, I kind of do, edit audio like this, and then it opens it up in Melodyne. And then after I've edited it in Melodyne, you can't see it right now, sorry. After I edit in Melodyne, then I have to like bounce it back to audio and all that kind of stuff. That can be a bit of a headache. But like I said, the things I'm gaining, they just far outweigh any of the things I'm losing. So yeah, how does Ableton run on an Apple M1 with just making and mixing beats? I am using an M1 Pro. So I'm using an M1 Pro, I'm making this beat, and I'm streaming live all from the same computer. So hopefully that gives you some kind of context in answering that question. Honestly, by the time I get to an M4, or I might just wait for the M5, because Guru posted something on his Instagram the other day saying that he was blown away with how powerful this M5 was with Logic, which means it's going to be powerful anyway with other DAWs as well. I'm going to wait for that one. Shortcuts. How similar is Ableton to Logic? So I would say Ableton is similar to Logic, but how much are you dependent on like the mixer view? That's the thing, because when I load up this mixer, I'm not seeing when I load up this mixer, I'm not seeing plugins here. Plugins come up at the bottom, but if I click on a channel, it will change at the bottom which plugins I'm seeing. So that is like a massive difference. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started using Ableton, that was quite an adjustment. But then what I realized is it didn't matter, because in Logic, I found myself always having to use two screens more often. Whereas in Ableton, I find myself just using this one screen. And when I click on this or here, it just comes up with the thing down there. And if I ever want to turn all my faders down, I just kind of highlight things like this and just do it there. So even though the mixer view is a bit booky, if we're being honest, like that's not a very great mixer, I never use this. I never use that view whatsoever. So that's like quite a big difference. Other than that, everything else is the same. It's just way quicker, and it's way easier to like just do the crazy stuff. Like if I want to, for example, I don't know, say I've got this particular sound. Let's get into some of the stuff that's unique with Ableton. Let's do it. So let's say I've got this particular sound and I want to add dynamic tube, for example. Let's do drive. Okay. Actually, dynamic tube is that thing that kind of does an emulation of like when a tube hits the red. I don't want that. I actually just want straight up distortion. Now, the reason I'm not doing Command F to search for these is because I don't know the names of all of these Ableton plugins too well just yet. Yeah, okay. Do you know what? That buzzing is going to do my head in, because I didn't sort out that ground loop somewhere on my cables when I moved them around. Let's take that for example. If I want to modulate this, right, I can load up something called Shaper. And then what I can do is I can map this to control drive. And as you can see, this is now moving now. like, it's just like, that's a terrible audio example of what I'm talking about, but I can do that with anything. Now, where it gets really powerful is it's not just Ableton plugins I can do that with. I can do that with pretty much anything as long as it appears down here. So say I want to change the wet dry, for example, to modulate the wet dry, as long as I can see like the control down here. Now there is a way to make the control come up. I particularly haven't delved that deep into it, but I know the wet dry is there, so I'll just go map and I'll just go here, and as you can see, it's now controlling this. Now there are other DAWs that can do little things like that as well, but for whatever reason I just never figured out how to do it in the other DAWs. I know Logic has some version of it, but I think maybe when I left Logic it didn't exist anymore. But that is just like a sound design dream for me. And I also love the way Ableton works. I don't know if Logic's fixed it yet, but if I want to just like make that whole section quiet, it's just as simple as that. I don't know why it's taking Logic so long to do something like that. Hopefully they've done it by now, but being able to just do automation is just really, really intuitive. And it's so funny because a lot of people hate the way Ableton looks, but I just love the way Ableton looks. I feel like it just gets out of the way. It's just these blocks and they just play sound. Like, I don't need it to be super decorative. I love how it kind of looks like this weird coding thing. Like, I just really like it. But let me move on to some of these other questions. That says it all. Ableton's M4L's short butt buddy. What? Ableton's M Max for Live shortcut buddy. I don't even know about that. Thank you in advance because I already know that's going to change my life. Sean, what's going on, Sean? You good? Sean is a bad boy. There's someone in this chat called Sean Barrett, yeah? This guy is a bad boy. He's a sick mix engineer. This guy's got vocals. I was going to say like R. Kelly, but that's a bit wild. Let me not say R. Kelly. This guy's got vocals like, I don't know, bruv. Who sings sick and is male? He's got vocals like them. And then he also is a sick vocal producer and a bad boy mix engineer. And he also can produce as well. So that guy, I think he also does some one-on-one streamings or whatever where he teaches people. I don't know if you wanted me to promo you, Sean. But anyway, I'm baiting you up, bruv. So holler at that guy. Try and find his DM. I think it's Sean Barrett on his Instagram. And we also got someone there called Jay Warner. He's telling me you can also do some key mapping too, like in the clip gain hack. Yeah, sick. So Jay Warner's my boy. Jay Warner's an amazing artist. Type him into Spotify. Listen to his music. He's an incredible singer, R&B/soul/alternative artist who has a ton of music coming out soon. Don't you, Jay? Let him know in the chat, bro. That's my guy. He's one of the main reasons I switched to Ableton, actually. Logic now has typing in the names of plugins, by the way. Thank goodness. Amazing. But what that tells me is that Ableton is a leader when it comes to these things, if Logic's now copying what Ableton's doing. Do you use a separate computer to process your live stream? I'm not at the moment, no. This same M1 Enoch that I got all those years about, and I was sending all those videos into the group chat about how sick it is, I'm running that same computer. Now, I am getting the little sign in the corner that's telling me that the battery needs to go for servicing. But anyway, as long as this thing's plugged in, it don't turn off. I know what you mean. You need a DAW to keep up your brain. Yeah, I can't use any DAW for recording mixing without ARA now. Yeah, I know. I see what you mean. Sometimes I do go to Studio One if I need to do a lot of tuning. But other than that, I'll just be like, you need to sing that again. Reason does have some issues where it glitches, then ruins my flow. Nothing more annoying. Now, that's one thing with Ableton that's great. Even though it will glitch, it won't ever stop. It will not skip playback, if that makes sense. You might hear glitch sound, but it will never take you out of your timing. And for whatever reason, if I'm recording a vocal and the DAW glitches, that glitch doesn't actually record into that audio file. Now, I hope Logic has fixed that, but when I was last on Logic, if a computer skipped or glitched, that was now recorded into your audio file. I suspect the Young Guru post is about the new MacBook Pro with the M4 Ultra chip. Maybe. That would be insane. If there's a MacBook Pro coming with M4 Ultra, I'm saving up my pennies from now. Yeah, the mix of you in Ableton throws me off. Yeah, I don't use it. What about bussing things back and forth? What do you mean? The hidden channel. You said what about bussing things back and forth? What do you mean by bussing things back and forth? It sounds like twerking. You're going to have to clarify. Let me know. Is that complicated? And does it handle as many plugins as Logic does? No, it does not handle as many plugins as Logic does. I would say it handles 2/3. No, I feel like Logic might even handle twice as amount of things. But the reality is I'm just going to make sure I buy all of my computers in the future and spec them for Ableton to be able to do what I want to do. But Logic is the best optimized DAW in my personal opinion when it comes to like track count and things like that. But like I said, what I'm gaining in workflow, and I'm not doing like mad orchestral movie scores or anything like that. So I'm not running into any issues in my M1 Pro. So if you've got anything newer than the M1, you're fine. I can't answer any questions for Windows. I left in 98. My apologies. I think Logic has the best layout. Yeah, don't disagree with that. What's on your master bus? Check out my video, Ultimate Mix Bus Tutorial on my channel. I go into in depth everything that's on my master bus. It's all pulsar modular stuff, but that's for Hyde F84. You, Kaylen Ellis, Jan Anta are all using Ableton. Yeah, it's just creative. It's fast. It's really, really fast. But let's see what's going on here. Kizza was one of the best UK hip hop singers. However, I don't think he is active anymore. I don't know, actually. I'm not familiar with Kizza. And then Sean uses Reaper. Yeah, Reaper, that looks like even more of a coding software than mine. But yeah. Whoa, Francois! The famous Francois is in the building. Big boy guitarist. Plays for so many big acts. We did the Sugar Babes and stuff together. What's going on, bruv? I hope you're good. You've joined at the end. I'm literally just wrapping up now and just answering people's questions. But hopefully when I'm done with this stream, you'll be able to go back and watch it as well. But if there aren't any other questions in particular, then I think I'll probably call it a day. Like I said, this was just my first live stream. I just wanted to test out how it would be, what the vibe would be. If I'm being honest, I was so nervous before I started this, but it just, I guess after about the first 10-20 minutes, once the beat started happening and the conversation started going, I just feel super comfortable. I don't even feel nervous at all. So if you're thinking about doing live stream, I really recommend you to do it. It's actually so fun. As much as I loved it, I didn't buy the P44. Yeah, no problem. You've got so many plugins, Sean. I don't think you need any more. Yeah, too many other plugs I had already. Exactly. Yeah, and Soulfi sick. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm gonna do a video of my favorite drums, and Soulfi will be there. Probably Addictive Dead Drums. Timpo will be there as well. And then if you don't know about this website called the Drum Broker, that's just the go-to place for like sick drum samples, breaks, and you can chop the breaks and make your own things or just one shots. Really, really good. But I'm gonna call it a day now. Really, really enjoyed this. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. And actually one more thing, I actually have a mailing list that I've set up. Now this mailing list is just going to be for anyone who is interested in new music, or whenever I do YouTube content that's more around music creation, so it'll be more entertainment focused, then be sure to check that out and subscribe to that as well. It'll be in the link below. I'm not sure if that's available right now, if that becomes available afterwards, but be sure to subscribe to that mailing list if you want to get an update on whenever I release new music, or whenever I'm doing live streams like this, or anything that's creative and centered around music. So just to repeat, that's not going to be for plugin reviews. That's not going to be for those kind of things. It's just going to be around creativity and music. Make sure to subscribe to that. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. My name is Alex Elliott. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.